Hello. Good morning out there. And good morning, Ted.
Good morning,
Fresh
Manila.
off the heels of deprogram. I know people are still trying to figure out what the heck just happened. What happened was the deprogram show raided the TMI show. So you're basically it's like watching, let's say you're watching CBS and you go from one show to the next. It's like a network. That's kind of what we're aiming to do here. So please stick around, see if you like what you hear. Today's going to be a little more serious, I think, because it's Monday. So nobody ever said Monday.
I did, but you didn't like it.
No, there's no Monday, Ted. It's not Monday. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. This is the Ted Manila Information Show, or TMI Show for short, because if you stick around long enough, you'll see we bring you way too much information. A lot of TMI happening here. We do it live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the subscribe, and the share button. If you can help by sharing our content, that goes a long way for the visibility, and a lot more people can discover us organically. And that really, really helps our little show. We've been at this for about a year now. I think it was mid or late October, Ted, that Voice of America put out the hit piece on us.
Yeah, thanks, Voice of Freedom. You guys are awesome. Love you.
So awesome. I'm so glad that the Biden government at least kept trying to attack us after they got us laid off. So that's nice. So here we are.
They went after you by name.
They named you too?
I know.
You were named, but they especially hate me because I was
They do hate
double Russian spy. They were like, wait, on Russian radio and TV? Must get this yellow-faced Russian spy.
Right, true.
So, it's I think right about now is our 1-year anniversary. So anyway, let's get to some of the serious topics plaguing our world, Ted, because it's getting cold. I don't know about you guys in New York, but Virginia is finally getting cold. The DC Metro, we're finally wearing coats. So I suppose, Ted, this is why the DOD is going to Latin America, south of the equator, I think. It's for the good weather.
Agreed. Well, it's going to get warmer and warmer, for them, because that's how that works.
Bombs are hot. Let's talk about it. It gets hot when there's kinetic warfare. You guys missed it. This weekend, the DoD deployed a bunch of destroyers and striker groups, set sail for the Venezuela waters, and so we're also still bombing. Don't get us wrong. We're still bombing random Latinos on small fishing vessels or just little boats that they're hanging out in the Caribbean, enjoying said good weather. We're still doing that, Ted. I don't want.
Thank God.
Yeah. We did that this weekend too. But we're sending out whole destroyer groups, right? And they've just made port at Trinidad and Tobago. So here's the news: a U.S. Navy destroyer equipped with guided missiles, helicopters, and U.S. Marines. We need the men, Ted. They have arrived in Trinidad and Tobago, just miles from Venezuela's coast, triggering a furious response from Caracas on Monday. The USS Gravely, what a name, an Arleigh Burke-class warship, docked at the port of Spain on Sunday to take part in joint exercises, because we always go there, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
We always go to the port of Spain. To do exercises with the Trinidadians, of course. They produce us some very good baseball players, in case Americans didn't know. Venezuelan officials immediately denounced that move, calling it a threat to regional stability. Executive Vice President Delcy Rodriguez accused the U.S. and its Caribbean ally of staging a military provocation near Venezuelan territorial waters, warning it risks igniting a broader conflict in the region. The USS Gravely's arrival at is part of a broader U.S. military buildup along the Caribbean as President Trump ramps up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Alongside the destroyer, the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R and its strike group, including cruisers, destroyers, surveillance, and electronic warfare aircraft and support vessels, have moved closer to Venezuelan waters, representing the largest U.S. presence in the region in decades. Washington says the deployment targets illicit trafficking and regional security threats, but Caracas sees it as preparation for military intervention. The standoff highlights escalating tensions between the two nations and carries global implications. Venezuela's vast oil reserves and alliances with, imagine this, Ted, Russia, China, and Iran, making the region potentially a flashpoint in a broader geopolitical struggle. According to the Pentagon, the deployment falls under U.S. SOCOM's broader operations to, quote, detect, monitor, and interdict illicit activities that threaten the security and prosperity of the United States. Gravely's presence accompanies the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group, which was deployed to the Caribbean last week, carrying fighter jets, electronic warfare aircraft, and, of course, surveillance planes. So since late August, the Caribbean has seen an unprecedented buildup of U.S. military forces near Venezuela. More than 10,000 troops and dozens of fighter jets have been stationed across the region. Many of the personnel are aboard 8 warships, while the remainder are based in Puerto Rico, about 800 clicks from Venezuela's coast. The Trump administration, which has repeatedly accused Maduro of leading a drug cartel, says the deployment is aimed at combating drug trafficking to the U.S. American forces have intensified strikes on suspected trafficking vessels out in the Caribbean and the Pacific, targeting at least 10 boats and reportedly, Ted, killing 43 people since just last month. Despite Washington's stated goal, the growing military presence has fueled speculation that the administration is preparing to remove Maduro from power, heightening tensions again in the region. So, Ted, again, we're going back to the John Bolton days, right? The mustaches plan way back, and this is before Trump's first administration, going all the way back to the Obama days, where they had planned on overthrowing Venezuela for a very long time. It's been part of that, the deep state Washington's geopolitical plans for well over a decade at this point, going back to the Obama era, going back to the Hillary Clinton era. This has been on the books and in the plans for a long time, hence why they tried to insert one Juan Guaido, who just last year, now that he's back to not being the official president of Venezuela, last year I saw a viral video of him trying to go to like a taco stand, and he got like the white plastic lawn chairs thrown at him by people. People were like, "Hey, it's Juan Guaido."
To know him is to love him.
That's right. So he couldn't even go get a taco, Ted. But I guess
no Taco Tuesday for him.
No Taco Tuesday for him. But as you and Robbie always say, if you're a traitor to your nation, expect that kind of treatment, right?
Or worse.
And that's precisely what this Juan Guaido character was. He was a failed coup attempt by the U.S. to install a leader that would be more friendly there.
And we didn't, if memory serves, this might have been a fever dream. I was so distracted by Biden's hyper awareness and intelligence that I could have missed this. But didn't the United States formally recognize Juan Guaido as the actual president of Venezuela?
Yeah. They called him the actual we recognize, along with the UK, we recognize Juan Guaido as the official leader of Venezuela. The Brits released thousands of physical pounds of bars of gold to Juan Guaido. Venezuela's gold, like actual gold, on a whole plane, and sent it to Juan Guaido.
So
where all that went?
But Manila, that hasn't changed, right? So isn't he technically, according to the United States, still the president of Venezuela?
Yeah, we haven't unrecognized him. So technically, you might be right. Are we trying to overthrow Juan Guaido? Because we haven't said that we recognize Maduro as president.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me like, or we could theoretically de-recognize Guaido, and just say like, he's no longer. We don't recognize. You could say we don't recognize any president. We could recognize some other, figure down there, Clovis. Who knows? But like, not that Clovis would want the job, but it's
a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, he's still the president of. So Juan Guaido is still the president as far as U.S. foreign. So we also are supposed to be helping, right? Like, I mean, we're not allies with him, but we're supposed to be helping him as much as possible. If the United States government says you are the proper president of your country, I mean, shouldn't that mean something?
Well, I don't even know where he is, actually, Juan Guaido. I heard that he was at some university. I don't know if he was a student but somewhere in South Miami last year after he had the chair incident.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So I think he's somewhere hanging out in Florida.
So weird.
Laying low. So I don't know if.
And then once you leave the country, you're kind of like, nobody even sort of says officially you're no longer the president like Yanukovych, right? When he dipped from Ukraine, no one's like, well, you're not the president anymore. It's just that, like, if things are spicy and like the Shah of Iran, you just get on a plane and you leave, then you're just sort of like not the president, and nobody even bothers to declare it.
Well, no, you can keep saying you are. You can just say that you are from abroad.
But everyone laughs at you, and then you're like basically like like those pretenders to the throne. Like, I'm the real king of Belgium, and everyone's like, sure you are.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know. I do think that this is really strange. Look. We know that the Biden administration, first of all, according to Karine Jean-Pierre, for 4 years, right, telling us to our faces, that we don't recognize greatness when we had Joe Biden as our leader, right?
So true.
She told us for 4 years with a straight face. She has her book that's dropping, right? She still says Biden's
She's kind of changed her mind about some of those things, though, right?
Yeah, well, she also never once told us that Venezuela was a drug kingpin country.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So as much as we were saying, oh, Juan Guaido in, the first year of Biden's administration, I do not recall any press release saying that U.S. intel ever recognized Venezuela as like a drug lord country.
No.
Like, I know Colombia. Obviously a lot of cocaine comes out of Colombia. And the fentanyl has come through Mexico. That's a known thing. Mm-hmm. But Venezuela? So now I think the Trump administration actually learned from the Biden administration in Karine Jean-Pierre's graceful execution of straight lying that they know now that you can just invent stories out of thin air with no historical reference, such as this, like Nicolas Maduro is a drug kingpin and not the official president, and Venezuela is a cartel country. You can just invent it out of thin air.
And that the drug that they make is fentanyl, even though they don't.
Yes, I know.
So
I'm like very confused by all of this, but all I can imagine is that the Trump White House 2.0 is looking at the Biden White House and going, hey, look, you don't even need a background story. You don't need an origin story. If you look at the Karine Jean-Pierre White House press office, you now know you don't need any background story. You can just invent it. like Karine Jean-Pierre did on the fly every day about Biden being the most virile, Biden being the smartest, the sharpest. You guys don't know because you're not
The
in the
human
room with him like
tornado.
I am. Yeah, that's right. He's just
I
whirlwind.
can't even keep up with him. That's what she
And that's
said.
what-
We
that's
can't
right.
keep up with him.
Oh,
Now, granted,
right.
she was very short.
40-year-old woman.
Maybe she had like stubby little legs and she couldn't catch up with it as he ambled with his broken feet, shuffled across the floor.
Didn't Commander break his toe or something?
Yes, well, of
Stepping on
course.
it?
Although, with the benefit of hindsight, I was very hard on Commander, as you know. But we now
I
know
wasn't.
that Joe Biden, it was his fault. He was kicking
abusive.
Commander. Yeah, he was a bad man, and so he was basically treating Commander the way that capitalism treats the working class. He was beating the shit out of him, just kicking him. And so, of course, Commander's holding a grudge. And he's like, I'm going to break that fucker's leg as soon as I get a chance. And he did. He broke Biden's leg.
I knew that from the get-go. See, Ted, it's because you're a cat person and I'm more of a dog person. I know that unless your dog is born like rabid somehow or like picked up rabies somehow, generally dogs are good-natured creatures. That's why they're called man's best friend. And they reflect the owner's treatment of them. So if you're an abusive asshole owner, you're going to get an abusive asshole of a dog. And Commander was, as we know, was a bit bitey to all the
He was a little bitey.
People. Mm-hmm. But that's probably because he was terrified of human touch because Biden's over there kicking his ass.
Yeah.
So that's, so Commander got the chance and he broke the Commander-in-Chief's foot.
Yeah, I have no problem with that at all. I'm on Team
okay
Commander,
with that.
and I apologize formally to Commander
you should.
for my
I don't know
previous slander.
We don't know where Commander is anymore. He supposedly went to go live on a farm somewhere.
That's always what happens.
I don't know. I've really thought about Commander because, I like dogs. And I'm like, now that the Bidens are gone, where is Commander?
Do you think, would you adopt Commander?
If I had a different lifestyle, like when I was still single and stuff, I would have adopted Commander.
Really? I mean, you're not afraid that he would bite you?
No.
You'd be like, I'm a good person. I'm nice. Commander would like
give him proper training, and you can. Yeah, I've adopted.
He would literally be a rescue dog.
Yeah. I've rescued from the Biden family.
I hate people call it like they go to the pound and just get a dog, and they're like, "Oh, that's a rescue dog." I'm like, "That's not a rescue dog. A rescue dog is a dog that was abused."
Well, there are some. I did have a rescue dog. She was a rescue Saint Bernard from a dog. A big bust I saw on TV back in Southern California in the Inland Empire. A big puppy mill of Saint. She was a breeding mom dog, so she was a rescue, and she was one of the best dogs I'd ever had. And that just goes to show that like a dog can come from the worst background, but it takes some time. But you can really recondition them to be the good-natured creatures that they are. But
That's cool.
Takes some time. So I don't know about cats if you can do the same thing. Maybe, I imagine. But so I really do wonder about Commander. We know with Hunter Biden, obviously, like, you raised that one like that. So obviously you're going to raise your dog like that. And you're going to, Yeah,
it's true. I mean, Joe Biden, there's no evidence that he can be a good leader, even to his family.
Yeah. So there's that. So when the White House came up with this dream of this Juan Guaido character and Trump 1.0, Biden 1.0, and I guess now they've ditched the Juan Guaido story and they're going with drug kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
With no background. no proof, no background, and
making shit up.
You just make shit up because I'm telling you, you learn that. They saw it from the Biden administration.
Oh, well,
and
I mean, come on.
Jean-Pierre
Like, let's be serious, though. Donald Trump was president before Joe Biden, and he was an insane liar then, too. Although it's gotten worse, for sure.
This is just like, Ted, I at least, if we go back to the 9/11 days in Bush Jr.'s administration, we go back to 9/11, I appreciate the fact that they at least attempted to craft a story. You know what I mean?
Right. They didn't. Yeah, they had enough respect for the American people to lie to us, to think that we deserved an excuse,
like a cheating spouse. At least try.
Yeah, like the cheating spouse. Yeah, the cheating. It's not like, yeah, this is literally like, it's a good analogy, Manila. So literally back then it was like, oh no, like I work late. I'm the coach for the foosball team for the local high school, and then I had the
volunteering at the Boys
meeting.
and Girls Club.
Yeah, Kiwanis meeting. I was long time shopping, comparison shopping at the supermarket. Prices are so high. So as opposed to now, it's like, shut up, bitch, and make my dinner. Like,
right.
Well,
don't ask me no questions, bitch.
You smell like your whole head smells like pussy. Shut up, bitch, and make me a fucking drink. That's literally what it is. Shut up. Like, no, I don't. Like, no, I don't.
And just going about doing what they're going to do. So that's basically what the Trump administration is doing now with sending warships. Ted, have you, in your recent memory, and mind you, I did straight news basically for the whole of the last 10 years, right? I do not remember U.S. SOCOM doing any major or anything of note in terms of military exercises in Trinidad. Do you?
In Trinidad? No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
never. I bet it's the first time they've ever been there.
Yeah. I bet, I'm sure because we we're very prolific in terms of sending men everywhere, right? And like, but maybe not a whole strike group, not a whole carrier. You know what I mean? Like, I bet we've sent a few Marines there to do some sort of training on the beach, right? Like,
well, this is either an incipient invasion or it's a big fucking bluff. And it's one of those two. I'm not sure which, but it is one of those two. Because it's not like, I mean, Donald Trump loves to make a big threat, like I'm imposing 5,000,000% tariffs and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna pee on your dog, and and then basically it's like, oh yeah, we're good now. So he likes to negotiate for following that posturing shit. So this could really be that. I gotta tell you, 50-50. On deprogram, I said 51%, but now I'm thinking about it. It might be 49% to me. I think because Donald Trump doesn't like wars. I mean, he hasn't started any wars, right? So, like, this would be new. Now, granted, I mean, it's hard to imagine Donald Trump, who was so critical, although after the fact, of Bush's Iraq invasion. Like, Bush invaded Iraq to get oil. I can't imagine Donald Trump invading Venezuela to get oil. And in fact, Bush's chances of being greeted as liberators were much higher in Iraq. It didn't happen, but that was likelier to work out than invading Venezuela. I mean, the Venezuelan people they're not going to welcome American military intervention, even if they don't like the current president.
Well, Ted, let me ask you this. As a communist, right?
Yes.
Why is it that even to this day, I don't mean the people of the United States, but forever Washington, permanent Washington. I mean, the Cold War, you and I know that it was never over, but technically it was over, 1989, right? Let's say 1990. Let's say the start of the 90s, things were different. Rap music is cool. Like, things are different, right? Cold War's over. Why are we still operating our foreign policy? Why is it still operating on a Cold War mentality where it's like we have to go take down, we have to hate every socialist or communist government in the world?
Well, it's business, right? I mean, first of all, war is always business, but specifically, why did they go after left-leaning regimes? Look, here's the thing: like, if people, it represents the idea that you could have a successful alternative to the capitalist system that we have here in the West represents an existential threat to that system. Because imagine, let's just say, for example, Venezuela was a people's paradise, and like everyone's like goes to Venezuela and comes back and like, oh my God, it's so great there. Oh, what's the deal? Oh, they have socialism. Then Americans might get the idea, like maybe we could have socialism too. That's what they're scared of, right? They really just don't want to see that anyone can do it better than we can or differently. So they have to, if they can't, they'd like to smash it down, but if they can't smash it, they have to fuck up and sabotage their economies and make it impossible. I mean, you always think about the talking point, Manila, that you constantly hear about Venezuela. Oh, their economy is really bad. Socialism has destroyed their economy. Really, you don't think it's American sanctions have destroyed their economy? Really? Like they say the same thing about Cuba, right? It's always like, that's always think about it. How often do they say, oh, Cuba and Venezuela have political prisoners? They don't have, they're a repressive regime. They talk about it, but it comes up like it's an afterthought. Their main criticism is always socialist economics doesn't work. And they always point to countries that are the victims of American and Western economic sabotage to make their case.
Look at Iran. Look at them. We remember, we banned their diplomats from going to Costco, Ted.
Thank God for that.
I don't know what borough the Costco is closest to the United Nations building. Do you know where it is, Ted? What borough is it in?
It's in Manhattan.
It's in Manhattan? There's a Costco in Manhattan?
Oh, the Costco. No, the closest, I think there's one in Queens. Well, no, I'm lying. There is a Costco in Harlem. Which I've actually been to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the upper 100s?
Yeah, like 120. It's like 128th or something like that.
Oh.
All the way over by the East River.
Well, that's not super close to the UN building, but even still.
No, but it's close enough.
Even still. We banned the Iranian diplomats from going to Costco.
Yeah. Fucking the dignity.
Because they have something of a socialist government,
right? We can't allow that to happen.
They don't call themselves socialists, but they're not exactly capitalists either. But they do operate.
They have some socialistic aspects to their economy,
they have
for sure.
Yeah, I would say it's a socialist leaning society, like healthcare and stuff like that, and even education. So
yeah, for sure.
So it's socialist leaning. So God forbid those damn socialists go to Costco when they're in town.
And what's funny is Costco, by the way, is kind of a semi-socialist institution if you think about it, right? Because they use economies of scale to keep prices low, and they also pay their workers pretty well.
A living wage, yeah. They get health care and college reimbursement. They get it's a good job to land a Costco job.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. And like Bob's Red Mill. That's another company I actually like to shop at.
Wait, what the fuck is a Bob's Red Mill?
You don't know Bob's Red Mill?
That must be a regional DC thing.
No, are you kidding?
No.
Look it up. Please look up Bob's Red Mill. I'm not even a socialist, but I support this business model. I think it's a wonderful business model. So this old man named Bob, like Burt's Bees, an old white dude an old socialist dude named Bob, founded an oats company like 60 years ago. Or
as one does.
He makes oats. So he was an oatmeal guy.
He was sowing his oats.
He had his oats, and then it became like a grain and oats, like healthy eating thing. And I don't know if he had any children or not, or even if that's relevant. But anyway, as his business grew, he allowed his workers. So the workers own the company now that he's passed on. Bob died like 5 or 10 years ago,
As one does.
and the workers all own the company. So there's no like, they're the board. They are like, you cannot be part of the board. You cannot be like, unless you actually work at the factory. So the factory workers own the company. And I don't know if it's publicly traded. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge oat and grain company. I can't believe you don't know it. It's huge.
No, not at all.
And it's a great product, and it's like a non-GMO product. And I wish Bob was paying me for this, but Bob is not. It's just something I use in my house. It's like it's something I feed my family. You know, it's a healthy food product that doesn't use chemicals and stuff like that. And I love the business model that the workers are treated right, and they own the company, and it's not some board in New York City, you know, that is there for themselves and screw the workers. So Bob and Costco are businesses I give my money to because they're humane. So I would gladly promote them on our little show here. But yeah, you should look them up. It's a product I think you would gladly support because of their business model.
I will do that.
If you like oatmeal and stuff like that, Ted, chia seeds.
I have to be kind of in a mood. I don't think I ever like wake up with like like my stomach rumbling for oatmeal. Like,
no, it's not like
man, I gotta fucking get me some of that. But I mean,
I don't think they have instant. Yeah, I think they have grits. I don't know, Robbie. I think they have like overnight oats. Like these are real like steel cut oats, like things you have to like cook overnight or at least for an hour. These aren't like instant. This is like,
it's all right. Like, preparing show notes, put that thing on the stove and prepare some show
like this
notes.
This is not Quaker Oats, like GMO shit. This is like, so I support that kind of business model. Like you give me some clean food, I will pay a little bit more of a premium. I will pay $2 more for that bag because the food is clean and you treat your workers well.
Okay. All right.
So I'll do that. But yeah, anyway, we're deviating. Okay, let's move on to the next topic.
All right. So I've got
this is a TED topic.
It is a TED topic.
Because you're French.
Ted needs to pull it up. Okay, here we go. 2 men from a Paris suburb have gotten arrested in connection with the jewel heist last week at the Louvre. That, according to the French National Police, amid a nationwide manhunt looking for 2 more suspects. One guy got arrested at 10 p.m. at de Gaulle Airport while trying to fly from Paris to Algeria. The other one was nabbed by the cops as he was about to go to Mali, also in Africa. An investigator with the Paris Brigade for the Repression of Banditry, what a name, the special police unit spearheading the probe, said, according to the French Interior Ministry, both suspects, whose names have not been released, are French nationals who live in Seine St-Denis. That is Seine St-Denis, that's a suburb of Paris. One has dual citizenship in France and Mali. The other one has dual citizenship between France and Algeria. Both were already known to the cops from past burglaries. Investigators said that they matched trace DNA evidence recovered from a helmet left at the scene to one of the suspects. This allowed the cops to put the thief under phone and physical surveillance. Both suspects are believed to have played active roles in the robbery on October 19th, in which 8 precious pieces of jewelry, including crowns containing thousands of diamonds and other precious gemstones, were stolen. Investigators say they're still determining whether there was an inside job source inside the Louvre. No new info has been made available on the whereabouts of the jewels. The prosecutor of Paris, Laure Becot, estimates that they were worth over $100 million. French Interior Minister Laurent Nunez praised investigators for making the arrest. Authorities launched a manhunt, of course. The stolen items include crowns, necklaces, earrings, brooches, some of whom belonged to Emperor Napoleon and his wife, valued at over $100 million. The team of thieves drove up to the side of the museum. Well, we know that whole story. So that's the story. The 4 suspects left the scenes on motorbikes Winding their way through central Paris, they were last seen speeding southeast on the A6 freeway out of Paris in the direction of Lyon.
Ted, it's like a movie. It's like, it really is. They use a bucket lift. And I saw a video of them coming back down on the bucket lift. Like it's like the guys you see repairing
I thought it was
streetlights.
I thought it was a furniture
Mm-mm.
a furniture mover, like when you put a piano up on the second floor kind of thing.
No, it was just a little bucket lift, like the guys that fix the
Like a cherry
streetlights
picker.
I don't know about cherry picker, but this is definitely the kind that you see it like in cities where the repairmen are fixing streetlights or like power lines. It was a bucket lift. And then I didn't see that they got away.
By the way, hilariously, you're going to like this, Manila.
Hilarious.
The company that made the lift ran an ad on television in France saying like,
No, they didn't.
you can use our lift for all sorts of shit.
No, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is following the heist.
yeah, because of the heist.
What?
They're making a joke. It's funny as shit.
Well, I mean, look, I cannot believe that even happened. So obviously, I was like, this is like
Adrian
a movie?
730 says Saint-Denis is like little Africa. Most security guards in Paris are African. That's true.
I didn't know that. He's Adrian, I believe, is in France, so he would know. I did not know that, but I did wonder, why are these guys trying to escape to Algeria and to, like former colonies in North Africa? Like, are they of African descent? Are they North African? Are they part of a greater gang? I had also heard, Ted, that supposedly this was ordered.
Well, how do we know this? So in other words, like,
that's what I had read. In, like, official French.
Like, in other words,
media.
this wasn't like a bunch of guys, let's steal some shit and then figure out how to fence it later.
Right.
It was like this was a what's the word?
This was a hit job.
Yeah, it was
like a paid heist.
Commissioned. It was commissioned.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I had read, but they're not mentioning it now. So I'm curious, like, if these guys squeal.
Well, obviously, they're going to subject them to the prisoner's dilemma. Hey, your buddy already told us on you. You might as well talk to us. Always a bad move, right, to fall for that. But also, it's France. They're not nice to people in custody. The cops are probably beating these guys.
Oh, really? I imagined the opposite. I thought they would be treated better than in the US.
The French cops are bastards. People don't really realize that. Yeah, no. They're mean as shit.
Do they even carry guns?
They do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
They carry. I'm not sure. I mean, they carry handguns. I think they have. Looks like, to my eye, it looks like they carry 9mm. But I'm not sure about that.
I don't remember. Like, I know the British police, the bobbies don't. They don't.
Right? No.
Yeah.
But the French are not like that. I mean, you think that like, it's France and everyone they have their accordions and their berets. It's like, they're and the national police are the worst. They're cops.
Oh. Are they like the U.S. Marshal, basically? Is that
there's no equivalent in the United States. Although it looks like Trump would like to create one. But basically, it would be. I mean, look, the Gestapo is literally the German national police. So imagine an FBI, but instead, like FBI guys don't wear uniforms, right? So imagine armed FBI guys who basically can go into any state in the union, and
they have jurisdiction across all provinces and stuff.
Yes, in the same way that the state police can go, like state police can go into any town in the state, right? So state police rarely come into New York City, but they can and they do sometimes, right? Whenever they want. They don't have to get permission from the NYPD. They can arrest people. They can do whatever the fuck they want, write tickets, anytime. So in the same way that state police can go as they please anywhere within a state, right? Like Maryland State Police can go into Baltimore, no problem. Fort Meade, whatever. in that same way, national police can go into any state or city in France, any
And that's who
province.
these guys were that were
Or
investigating
more
and made the
accurately,
arrest.
in France, they call them departments of French département. Yeah.
So these guys were the arresting group.
So the national police they would naturally have jurisdiction in something. It's so high profile, not to mention they left the city of Paris. So they left that département. So so clearly, and not to mention, one guy was arrested at the airport. Look, it's not exactly like amazing police work. Literally, the guys left DNA at the scene. They're like,
I know.
And this guy's like, send to the lab. And then they wait for the lab results. It's like,
and then there's fingerprints.
It's this guy that we arrested, and we have his DNA from when we arrested him. Oh, okay, it's Pierre. Go to his apartment and arrest him. La fin. And they probably just watched him to see if he would meet. They probably didn't arrest him right away. They wanted to see if he'd hang out with any of his co-conspirators, right? So they kind of watched him for a while. And then when they decided they'd watched him enough time, they're like, bam. Well, of course, one guy was heading to the airport. Right?
Well, the other thing is like, okay, so supposedly it was commissioned. They haven't recovered the jewels.
Yes, that's correct.
So my guess is it's somebody the French police already know who, but can't touch because it's probably somebody so high profile, like that they can't fuck with this person, is my guess.
Oh, I don't think the French play that way.
You don't think so? I think that's like how the world works, is like if somebody that powerful can commission that kind of a heist, and like imagine if it's like a George Soros and he wanted to collect this shit. No, who's going to go arrest George Soros?
France will. France gives no shits. No, it's like this is a major international scandal. The French look like fucking retards for having done this. Manila, they didn't insure them. Okay, they're uninsured.
What?
Yeah, and they put them on display. Yeah.
Get out of here. It's not like Sotheby's insured that. No, like, are you kidding?
They're not fucking insured for so much as €1. Okay, nothing. So
my God.
And they put them in a display case. There were no cameras on the site. I mean, they did it in the middle of the day, right? Like 9 a.m. It's like, I mean,
I didn't know that. Well, that's now they just look like
so they have to. They can't let this go. They look like megatards. So yeah, that's what's going on here. So what happened is, I don't think you can understand unless you know the French, that like the thing about being French, like, so think about like what's fundamental about being American. More than anything else, what do Americans hate is to be perceived as weak, right? That's why we were so fucking pissed off about 9/11. It's not because we got a bunch of people killed. We don't care about that. It's because we looked weak. We were like 19 assholes with box cutters leveled us and destroyed 2 of our biggest buildings and killed thousands of our people. We looked weak. So the French, they don't care that much about looking weak. They hate to look stupid. Like, you made us look stupid. And so they're not going to, that's unforgivable for them, and they're not going to let it go.
I didn't read that. I hadn't read anywhere. I guess the French press they're probably, the French press. They're really keeping that part mum as much as possible, because that makes you look really retarded. Like you didn't insure them. They weren't insured. And
they
it's
said
not
it was
like
too
these are new
expensive
things.
It would have been too expensive to insure. To which I might ask, and just will, how expensive is it to not insure them? You know?
They're in glass displays open to the public.
Yeah. If you really can't insure them, keep them in a safe. Really. I mean, they're the crown jewels of France, never to be seen again, already being chopped up as we speak.
You think it's chopped up, or you think it's some crazy collector that's got a weird fetish. Like these people exist, Ted. Like that world.
Oh, I know they do.
These people
Look,
exist.
okay, honestly, I could see being one of them. I mean, like not for jewels, because jewels aren't my thing, but like I could really see, like I have a lust for like antiquities and stuff. I could see being like, I want that in my own house because I'm rich as shit. I can get whatever I want. I could totally look at me. I have this, I have this amazing painting or whatever. So I could see that. But I do think in this case, the jewels are no longer in the possession of, like, every professional jewel thief who was interviewed by major newspapers about this has said,
so crazy.
Before a job like this, no matter how stupid you are, you have arranged your fence in advance so that like you're not caught with the jewels. You're arrested and then maybe you do your time, but you already have your jewels out and sold and your money's waiting for you when you get out of prison.
This is really, literally the things that you see in movies, and it happened. Like it literally, every part of this is like a movie. Like I can't believe any of this. I just
it's amazing.
It's like a movie. So that's why we kind of waited to even talk about this story, because it's like, is this even really happening? Like, is it like how wait, like that? No, they took like a DWP, lift. Excuse me, can I borrow that for a minute? I got to get something up high. My cat's stuck in a tree. I gotta borrow this for a minute. Just all of it seemed unbelievable, and the more details we're finding out now, the more ridiculous the whole, like, it went from like a jewelry, like a adventure movie, of a jewelry heist of, like, I don't know, what's her face, what's the blonde from South Africa that was doing all the heist movies in the early 2000s? Gosh, I forget her name, because I don't, even though I
know who you're talking about, but
gosh, what is her name?
Anyway, someone will remind us.
So yeah, somebody in the Rumble room will tell us. The hot blonde South African, big blue eyes. Gosh, I can't remember. Why can't I not remember her name?
Not Elizabeth Shue.
No. Like, she's more present day. She's aging very well, surprisingly. But anyway, I'm gonna hold on. I need to look this up because I'm gonna go insane. South African.
Here we go.
I need to know. Charlize Theron.
That's it.
Charlize Theron was doing a lot of these heist movies for whatever in like the mid 2000s, right? Like that's, and it was a thing. It's a thing. And this is something, like, it went from a movie I could see her starring in to now it's become like Benny Hill level stupid. Right.
No, it's true. It's fucking so embarrassing. So the French, like I said, this isn't about even, it's not that important. I mean, they'd like to get the jewels back, of course, but more to the point, they're going to nail these fuckers to the wall.
Because they look like fucking idiots. Like,
they've humiliated the French. The French hate being, the thing is that the French are, like, you can tell what you need to know about France. When you take the train between France and Italy, in France, all the train stations are like modern, like up to date. The trains leave on time. Then you get to Italy, things are ramshackle. The signs falling off the wall. Everything's worn off. It's like they're more relaxed people, right? So so the French are like, yeah, we might have a stick up our ass, but we're competent, right? This is like, well, that competence is gravely called into question now.
As the famous, one of the favorite famous lines from my favorite holiday Christmas movie, Home Alone, where one of the sisters tells Macaulay Culkin, "You're what the French call les incompetents."
I forgot about that.
That's the line she tells, and Macaulay's like, "Les incompetents? What does that mean?" Like,
that's really funny.
And that's what's happening here. So I want to see where this goes and who sings and But what a strange story. All right, let's move on quickly to this one with Ted. You read that one obviously because you're half French. This one, Trump is in Asia. Obviously, I'm Asian, so
That's what they say.
I have to read this one.
We have to check whatever DNA you leave behind at the next time you rob a museum.
That's true. That's true. I need to find out other like retard places that you can rob. Like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's all yours.
Amazing.
Yours
Uninsured.
for the taking.
Like you got to find stuff that's uninsured. That's amazing. I wonder if they knew that.
I don't think. I mean, I think honestly, wouldn't you rather rob someone who is insured because they're like less likely to be mad at you? If you rob someone who's insured, they're like not as pissed, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I can. Yeah, but these are France's crown jewels. They're irreplaceable.
They are.
So even if they are insured, like you'd still be pissed. But if you're robbing someone's house and you know they're rich and everything's insured and like, oh, this woman's Hermes bag is, insured. Like I don't feel so bad robbing her. In fact, there was a very recent string of robberies committed by these two Latina ladies, an older one and a younger one in Los Angeles. They set up a maid company for high-end homes. And that's exactly what they did, Ted. They'd go clean house and clean out.
That's actually a good idea. Manila, I had two ideas for like sort of theft related stories or jobs. One of them was, okay, so you call, like when you subscribe, this is kind of old timey, but when you subscribe to a newspaper, you call to suspend your delivery because you're going on vacation, or you do it online, right? Well, what if you worked at the newspaper in the subscriptions department? Well, you could work with burglars and just be like, everybody who suspends delivery of their newspaper for like, say, 3 weeks, they're on vacay.
Yes.
Go break into their house, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. I've heard of cases of like crooked mailmen that were in on that, right? Like, because they know if people put their mail delivery on pause, like in high-end neighborhoods, same thing. But yeah, that was the case literally like a month ago. I read about these two ladies in Los Angeles. They were like high-end cleaning ladies in Bel Air. And an older Latina and a younger Latina woman. The younger one's very pretty. So, it's probably a dream to get hired, right? For these people to hire, a hot young Latina lady to come clean your house and then.
Yeah, it worked for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, oh boy.
Except he wasn't really hot, but whatever.
I know. Very.
But looks aren't everything.
Whatever. She's probably a lovely lady.
Mm-hmm.
But these two women, that's exactly what they did. But look, the houses in Bel Air, all those, I'm sure there were some things that were recovered, but I guarantee you all of those homes, those women's stuff that they stole, all insured.
Well, yeah,
you're not that mad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're certainly it's annoying and it's upsetting.
Like, bitch, you stole my purse. Like,
no, it's upsetting for sure.
But that's the extent of it. I think it's just hilarious that the state of France did not insure
their own crown jewels.
I
mean, like I said, I could understand almost like we're too broke to show them, although not really. But I mean, too broke to insure them. But if you're too broke to insure them, first of all, why are you sending money to Ukraine? Okay.
Thank you.
And secondly, if you're too broke to insure them, you can't afford to display them. They keep them locked up. Keep them locked up in a vault in France's equivalent of Fort Knox, right?
And you put out the replica, like that's.
Or you don't do anything at all. You're just like, you can't show them because they're uninsured. We're gonna have a GoFundMe, and so we can pay for the insurance.
God, that's even worse than looking incompetent, Ted. You look like a broke ass.
Yeah. Well,
you look like a cheapskate.
Yeah. Again,
meanwhile,
that's part of the problem too. Is it's like It's the majesty of France. No one. So you know how, like in the United States, sometimes
look like a
Americans are told, "Oh, we can't afford new textbooks for the kids," or "We can't afford health care for people who are sick," and people are like, "Okay." In France, no one believes that when they say the government is like the French government says, "Oh, we can't afford to insure the crown jewels." Everyone in France, left, middle, and right, they're like, "No, you're the French government.
Yes,
You have all the money. You have more money than God. You can afford it. Cut the shit. You chose not to do it."
And let's not forget, Ted, the French are still holding the money from a lot of these African colonies. They're still in control. They have like guardianship. I'm just going to paraphrase and summarize it as that. The colonial power that French was, like in some of these African countries, the vast wealths of those nations are in the banks with like France's central banks. France controls their money, making interest, and they get to collect interest on those monies. I don't know if you know this. I did a story about that, so I know it's still happening. And that's part of why the African colonies are like trying to kick Macron and the military out. And they're saying, also, by the way, dude, give us our money. Like, you stop. We're not Britney Spears. Stop controlling our money. Like, give us our money back. And the French central banks are like, don't know. We will think about these. Like, we're not sure. They haven't given them. So look, if you're going to hold on to other people's monies anyway, can't you use that money as a loaner to like pay the insurance bill?
You mean the way that the Europeans are using Russian deposits?
Yeah. So just like do that, right? Like, and then just use that money against that it's just a shell game. So there's ways to move money. Money is fungible, Ted. The French know this.
You're a major nation state. If you need more money, impose some tariffs or raise taxes, right?
This looks so. I didn't know they were uninsured. That part takes the cake. That part makes me like. I cannot believe, like this. Look, you add this to Emmanuel Macron having his ass being handed to him by his wife on that plane, and you're just like.
Well, in fairness, he's a victim of abuse.
No, I agree. But at the end of the day, dude, you are not looking very strong. Like,
that's true. The French Republic is not looking good. The majesty of France. Something that, the United States doesn't really, majesty is not really our bag. It would be like if in Japan, they stopped, they forgot how to make like really pretty boxes and packages. It'd be like, what the fuck? We're Japan. Like, our packages look awesome.
It's so cute. Yeah. Okay. Real quick, staying on Asia. Trump landed in Malaysia yesterday. He's going to be in Asia this whole week. Supposedly also meeting with Xi Jinping. He's kicking off by attending a peace deal signing right now between Cambodia and Thailand because they've been warring. I don't know if people are aware. Laos is like staying out of it. It's like we're just kind of stuck in the middle. We're just not taking part. But anyway, then Trump said that he's announcing a separate trade deal with Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Noticeably, Laos left out of there, Ted, and Burma left out of there for over $25 billion, as well as invest in U.S. ag and energy sectors. I guess we're doing some sort of deal there. So Malaysia and Thailand agreeing to supply the U.S. with access to critical minerals because we know they've locked down their deals they're working on Afghanistan critical minerals. They've got deals locked up in Mexico. So the U.S. is trying to counter with its own. So then he'll attend the APEC conference, which is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference. That one's held in South Korea this year. He'll meet with them with President Xi there, supposedly, to discuss the framework of this new trade deal because the November 1, Saturday, is supposedly when our 100% tariffs with China go into effect. So that, that's causing a buying spree right now. People are buying up because they're afraid Like shelves are going bare, at least in the suburbs where I am. And also, side note, there's a U.S. Navy MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an FA-18F Super Hornet fighter jet that went down in the South China Sea during 2 separate incidents this weekend. All crew were rescued, but the military says the incidents will be investigated. And of course, they need to hurry up and recover them, Ted, because we had another, like bad landing on a carrier in the South China Sea like 2 or 3 years ago, and the U.S. couldn't recover it in time, and the Chinese did. Mm-hmm. So it's finders keepers, Ted.
But don't the Chinese usually return our stuff eventually?
After they've
had a little talk,
checked everything out,
a chance to have a little look-see,
a little copy of what.
We took the liberty of looking under the hood, just making sure your oil is filled.
That's right. Making sure you didn't pollute the South China Sea.
Yeah.
They just take a quick scan, and then they're like, okay, here's your broken plane.
Here's your broke-ass plane.
Here's your broke-ass plane. And then we're gonna go do our own thing over here. And yeah, so that's kind of what's happening right now in Asia. I think Trump supposedly hammered out for Thursday ahead of Halloween, because you know how scary it'll be on Halloween if the sale isn't consummated on Thursday, Ted. TikTok.
Right. Well, won't they just kick the can down the road again?
I don't know. Supposedly it's.
I think maybe no one's ever going to buy. Maybe no one's ever going to buy TikTok.
Well, I thought the Ellisons and some other rich people were.
That's what I heard. Buying. But then,
I don't know.
They're derping around.
It's supposed to be consummated in Asia. So I guess we have to look and see the private jets of like Larry Ellison and all these other wealthy people, if they're flying into South Korea, where Xi Jinping will be on Thursday for the APEC conference. That will be telling. So if Thursday goes sour for TikTok, then I think the tariffs kick in on Saturday. That's a sign, I think. I think if they can't broker TikTok, I think if they can't broker TikTok, then it is going to be a pricey Christmas. So buy the kiddos presents now. I'm just putting it out there for anyone planning. Skip over Halloween. You have this week to buy the kids Christmas presents before 100% tariffs kick in on all those toys that are all made in China. All of them, everything. So
that's true.
Buy it quick and just hold it, because I don't know that I don't trust that a deal is going to happen. I really don't.
Well, I mean, we're told this so many times. Look, it could happen, but it's just like at a certain point, you're like, okay, like it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Well, I would rather a bird in the hand, right, worth 2 in the bush. I would rather be stocked for Christmas prezzies now in October than have to pay double or 2.5 or 3 times the amount otherwise if I wait until Black Friday.
Yeah.
I'm a planner, but I'm a prepper, Ted. I told you I have my MREs, I have cans, I have like huge containers of water in the garage that we go through every, like few months, and like clean water. I'm a prepper. So Christmas included. Prepper.
Fair. All right. One more story here to get to do today. More than 41 million Americans will go without food stamps next month unless Congress votes to reopen the government in time, which doesn't seem likely. That according to the Department of Agriculture. With the shutdown now into day 25, Senate Republicans and Democrats remain at an impasse over expiring health care subsidies. Bottom line, the well has run dry, the USDA wrote. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. That's, of course, Saturday. During fiscal year 2024, the government's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, used to be known as food stamps, supported on average nearly 42 million Americans, or 12.3% of the American population every month. I didn't realize that 1 out of 8 Americans is on food stamps Nice capitalism you've got going there. Anywhere between 4.8% and 21.2% of each state's population was on SNAP in 2024. What shitty Republican state is it that has 21% of their population on fucking food stamps?
It's in the South. I saw
It has to be like
graphic.
Mississippi or Louisiana or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
Arkansas.
somewhere in the South.
The total spending for SNAP reached $99.8 billion that year, averaging out to $187.20 per participant per month, which is really nothing. While the federal government fully funds the program, states contribute part of the costs of administering SNAP. In an October 24th memo, the USDA said it can't use agency emergency funds to keep SNAP going unless Congress passes a funding agreement. SNAP contingency funds are only available to supplement regular monthly benefits when amounts have been appropriated for but are insufficient to cover benefits. The contingency fund is not available to support 2026 regular benefits because the appropriation for regular benefits no longer exists. The state says that the memo says the money is used for hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, emergencies that can come on quickly and without notice. The memo was met with criticism by the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities, a liberal think tank, which pointed out that the agency is contradicting its now deleted September 30th lapse of funding plan page, which can still be found in an archived version of the USDA website. Congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operations should continue, since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure that the state can also continue operations during a federal shutdown. The agency's now deleted policy reads, these multi-year contingency funds are also available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. Center on Budget and Policy Priorities President Sharon Parrott, unfortunate last name, who served in the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, between 2016 and 2017, and DHS, that's Health and Human Services, between 2009 and 12, said that the Trump administration has to keep SNAP going during a shutdown. The administration itself admits these reserves are available. It could have and should have taken steps weeks ago to be ready to use the money. Instead, it may choose not to use them in an effort to gain political advantage. Last week, officials from multiple states said food stamp recipients who saved up their benefits may soon lose access to the money if the government shutdown continues. So, the bottom line here is it's literally the poorest people among us, people who can't afford to buy groceries. A lot of kids, a lot of old people. And those people are going to be kind of fucked on November 1st. November 1st is also, of course, when the healthcare subsidies expire, that we have open enrollment and Obamacare starts, and lots of people are going to start realizing that their health insurance is going to go up. Democrats think that they're sitting pretty. And it's an unusual situation because both parties who are at odds think that they're on the winning side of this argument. The Democrats think the Republicans are going to feel the heat, and the Republicans think that they're making a big point about holding the line on government with their base. So nobody's incentivized really to settle. But I'm going to be on Team Democrat here. I think that I think the Republicans are going to have to blink first.
Hold that thought, Ted. We got to do an ad read before we lose our opportunity.
Looking for a comfortable but unique option for your gaming setup? Check out technosportusa.com. With a wide range of ergonomic chairs and an array of colors, you will definitely bring your setup to the next level. Always comfy, never boring, Technosport. Use code RUMBLE for a 10% off your entire order.
Ted, can we use Snap for that?
Well, nobody can use Snap for anything now.
This is just completely fucked up on so many levels. Like, so the Obamacare stuff, I'm of mixed feelings on that because of, how much government subsidy money has gone in to make Obamacare work, right? Which is why it's driven up prices for everybody else. Because I mean, there's a trend here. Whenever the U.S. government pours money into any one sector,
No,
it drives up the prices.
Manila, I gotta push back on that. It's the
I don't
opposite.
know.
It's the opposite. I mean, with the government pushing money into Obamacare subsidies, that's actually making people who get insurance through their employers or who have private insurance that's not through the ACA, it's subsidizing their rates as well. So
I don't know. I'm not the math person, but I just know historically, if you're flooding the market in anything in any one place, then
well, think about it. You're right, and it's supply and demand. I mean, if you have more money going into covering insurance, it creates economies of scale. So, for example, let's say you have 20 million people who are currently getting health insurance who would not otherwise get health insurance. Well, they're buying more medicines, for example, right? That means that the big pharma companies will make more of a specific medicine than they would otherwise. That means the per unit cost of that medicine will decline.
Yeah, I would need to do more research on that part. But the part that I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on is the program that allows you to keep your kids on until they're 25, because I mean, realistically, the kids are not fine. They're boomeranging after university. They come home because they can't afford to live anywhere else. How can they can't find regular full-time jobs. They can't find anything that pays well enough that they can then afford even health insurance through their employer, if their employer offers it at all. So, that part that's a big deal. And that's, for me, one of the things that I, lean on the Chuck Schumer side of this, where, yeah, Chuck Schumer and Marjorie Taylor Greene on the same side of this argument. That's kind of amazing. That says something, right? Because I see a problem with the future of America when there's failure to launch. And your kid is real close to that age, Ted. Like, that would be terrifying, like where you got to keep supporting your 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27-year-old kid because it's a failure to launch, not because of his doing or your doing, but because the government infrastructure has failed a whole generation of young people. That's the part that bothers me.
Well, I mean, I agree. By the way, Obamacare does cover you, the kids until they're 26, right? So you do have a little bit of leeway. 25. I think it's 26.
I thought it was 25.
Through 25.
Yeah. So when they hit 26, then they're booted off. But
yeah, that's how it is.
Prior to that, it was 18. Because I remember getting booted off my dad's insurance.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
that's how it was.
I was like, how the fuck? What am I supposed to do if I get in a car accident? I get hurt. Like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Is,
18.
So SNAP and the Obamacare.
And I work at In-N-Out Burger. Like, what do you want me to do?
But both SNAP and by the way, SNAP is also a massive subsidy for agriculture, right?
Yes.
Because all these people can buy food that couldn't buy food otherwise. So it helps farmers and grocery stores in a huge way.
So I know under RFK, there's a lot of people pissed off about this because SNAP, his HHS handles, SNAP falls under all of that, right?
Mm-hmm,
so he wants to cut out the eligibility. The way you cannot buy alcohol with SNAP benefits, right? With EBT cards, you cannot buy alcohol, but you can buy endless supplies of Doritos and Pepsi if you want. He wants to cut that out. He wants to say you cannot buy those things. All of those programs like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and shit, they work with the U.S. government in order to be in the SNAP program.
Of course, yeah.
That is so shitty. And then we wonder why our healthcare costs are through the roof and everybody's fucking diabetic when they're 8 years old. Like, this is why. It's
tough though, right? I mean, look, basically it seems like it's common sense that government subsidies shouldn't pay for, like, we don't buy cigarettes for right. people, right? So why should we pay? We should be encouraging healthy foods, or at least not the grossest, least healthy foods.
The worst food.
But on the other hand, where do you start? It's tricky, right? Where do you define that, right? It's sort of like, oh, maybe they shouldn't get white, maybe no white bread, maybe only whole grain bread, maybe no bread at all, maybe no sugar, right? No salt, sodium kills. I mean, you can go on and on with this stuff.
But there's like simple basics. I'm with.
But you're
RFK
right.
on
And I
that.
used to work at a supermarket.
Cut out the soda.
I was worked at a supermarket. I had a lot of jobs at the supermarket, including cashier. And I used to watch people pay with what were back then actual food stamps. And a lot of them really did like get like mystery bug juice and
purple stuff.
Yeah, the gross purple shit. And like a bunch of hams, and it was like a lot of chips. And I was like, you be eating a lot of chips. Now, it's like you do you, but like, I think a lot of this program got a bad rep because other people would see that and they'd be like, oh, these are trashy people buying trashy food. Fuck them.
But yeah, part of it is the subsidies that go into the corn sector, for one thing. And the corn sector feeds right into Frito-Lay. And then Frito-Lay makes you all the Fritos and Doritos and Cheetos and all the toes. And like, so,
and the toe jam.
And then, I'm sure there's a bottle of that somewhere that they've made. And so,
yummy.
and then that feeds right back into our healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid system, where we're flooded with literally elementary school kids that are obese with diabetes, lifelong childhood diabetes that becomes lifelong diabetes into their adulthood that we all then have to pay for. Like, they're just this whole reform of everything. So I know the Republicans are arguing on that side for some of the RFK amendments that he wants to make. Then the Democrats are arguing with, the Affordable Care Act stuff. So it's like, can you guys remember the Democrats told us when RFK proposed this idea, they said he was racist. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They said he was racist because you want to cut out soda from SNAP. Well, you're racist. Like that.
Well, I think what it is it's paternalistic.
Like that, Democrats.
It's paternalistic is what it is. And that's not necessarily good or bad, but it is no doubt it's big government telling you, you cannot eat that, you can eat this. I mean,
but we do
I think
anyway.
I think you can sort of, it's sort of like, Manila, have you ever been in a situation where you had a friend who was down and out and they were like, I just need like $500 so I can, and then you give it to them, and then you're like, the fuck, you bought new shoes? What the fuck?
Oh, I've been that friend that's been suckered into giving it's a loan, but you and I both know, Ted, that
you will never see that. Never. Yeah. Whenever, this is my advice also for parents, never lend your kids money, like, because it just creates problems. Give it to them. Assume that you will never see it again.
Yes.
Because you won't.
If you can and you want to pay it back, if you feel, yes. So I knew that giving $2,000, I knew, but then I was like, what the fuck? Why are you on a trip to Egypt? Right. You fucking bitch.
Yeah,
like, I've never been to Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been to Egypt. Why are you going to Egypt? Why the fuck are you posting pictures on camels and shit?
I knew a fellow cartoonist who was begging for money, claiming poverty, and he did a fundraiser, and then he went on a trip to fucking Italy, and it was like, what? Yeah. So,
yeah, no.
But anyway,
so
look, honestly, here.
But some people make really bad decisions, Ted, that
I don't think Republicans give a shit about these SNAP recipients, even though most of these SNAP recipients are Republican voters in Republican states.
And old people. Old people vote.
Who also vote. So they may care about that, but it's also going to have like a ripple effect in terms of crime and abuse and like dysfunction. I mean, I got to say, Congress, you got. By the way, how come Trump can find money in the sofa cushions to pay like the Pentagon, but he can't fucking find? I mean, I know the answer to this already because he doesn't give a shit about them. Doesn't care about poor people. To end too.
Robbie wants to have his 2 cents, and we'll make that the last word. And
sounds good.
And of course, I'll say, Robbie, I've seen recently, and I don't go on social media, but like I heard about it, so I went on to look to see myself. I had heard there are SNAP recipients that have put up videos threatening to mug people coming out of the grocery store for their shopping carts.
Don't do that. Mug congressmen.
That's what they're going to mug shop, like people leaving the grocery store, like for the carts, not your purse, they want your groceries. That's what I saw. I literally saw it. I don't know if these are people trying to create viral content or if this is real. But
yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I cannot see that happening because I think that would be a really good way to start stacking bodies if people start doing that, because people get really fierce if they're buying food for their families and then some schmuck tries to steal your food.
True.
Like, for example, stealing the crown jewels of France is a national humiliation, but you're not going to eat them. Well, on the flip side, though, if you're buying food for your wife and for your kids and then some schmuck tries to steal your food, I think that you have no problem sending that guy to go meet Jesus in a very rapid way.
And that would have that. I think it's just social media bullshit.
No, I agree. But no, I mean, here's why I think that you're wrong about this with the Dems. I think they're going to be the ones to be paying the price. And all you got to do is just hop on YouTube and just do a search about government shutdowns. And you're going to see just all this content. Republicans shut down the government because they wouldn't accept the clean continuing resolution. Well, the clean resolution is from Biden's budget that the Democrats voted for when Biden was still president. And it's the exact same thing. And the Democrats, they want more of their perks. Heck, Fernie, they want more of their stuff, and so they shut down the government. They think that they're going to have some leverage here that I think is going to end up blowing up in their face. Now, where the Republicans are going to run into trouble, I think that the Democrats, if they were smart, the argument that they would make is, well, if you're able to have money if you have enough money to start a war in Venezuela, then surely you can do welfare. But the Democrats, though, can't do that because they're all in on the war for Venezuela, too. So I think they're going to be the ones paying the price on this.
I don't think so. The polls are very clear here. This shutdown's now well underway. It's been weeks, and the polls are decisively in favor of the Democrats. Historically, Robbie, you're 100% right. That's usually how these things go. And I think what is, basically Democrats find themselves in the happy position of they forced the shutdown. That's true. But they have an issue that, unlike the Republicans, when Republicans shut down the government, they didn't have an issue that was potent enough for enough voters to be able to impose leverage. The Democrats have leverage. They know that like tens of millions of people are going to see their health care insurance increase to the point where they won't be able to afford it at all, and that people are really going to care about that, and it's going to make a difference at the polls.
So I work for a hospital, and I say, welcome to the real freaking world. Welcome. Well, glad to have you here. I'm glad to see that you're finally starting to pay your fair share, just like the people that have insurance through our employers are having to pay right now. And so maybe, just maybe, if the Democrats would actually, like look at you, AOC, would actually push for single player healthcare, then you'd have something to stand on. But they're not doing that. All they're doing is say, look at these bad Republicans. Neither party has any interest in fixing the problem. And the people are smart enough to see this. Also, you got to keep in mind.
Are they?
Also, you got to keep in mind, they're gerrymandering the hell out of districts right now. So how much of a political price is there going to be paid?
So look, I think this is going to be worse, guys. Like come Saturday, this is going to be worse than the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, where we saw people fighting in the aisles of Walmart. This is This is going to be worse than that. So look, I know Robbie you don't think people are going to, well, no, Robbie, you do think if it gets down to that where people are going to, it's about to get ugly, bodies will fall out in the, the Safeway parking lot. If you start running off with people's carts, it is going to get uglier. I believe come Thanksgiving, if this isn't solved, and there's a possibility it isn't, come Thanksgiving, it's going to get uglier than the toilet paper shortage of 2020.
If that happens, I think what you're going to see, it's not going to be people robbing shoppers. I think it's going to be flash mobs going and looting stores.
Just looting?
That's what's going to happen.
I think that would be better than robbing individuals.
It would be a total disaster.
Horrible.
No, that'd be the worst possible thing.
No, both things are horrible. But I mean,
hear me out.
You don't risk if you're robbing some old lady coming out of the grocery store with her, week's groceries. There's a chance that she gets shot, she falls and breaks a hip, whatever, and it escalates. But if you're just looting the store, they're already walking out with. They're going to CVS, like Ted's pointed out, like in Manhattan, and going to Duane Reade and just clearing the aisles of deodorant and walking out.
You're making my point. So if you go in and if you do this, you're doing two things. One, we have a supply side logistics system, real time logistics. You go and flash mob loot a Costco. How long is it going to take to get it restocked? Second, what's the incentive to do that? Because you got to keep in mind, these companies pay taxes. One of the things your taxes are supposed to pay for is order and law enforcement. So if you go in and get looted, what is the incentive then for you, A, to pay taxes, B, how are you going to cover these costs, these losses, not increasing costs, further pushing up the pain on the consumer, and then C, how long is it going to take you to get replenished? Because this is a loss that you were not forecasting to be able to be replaced. That's the issue. You know what?
I'm not worried about business losses. I'm more worried about life losses and families.
Well, you will be if you're
over groceries.
You will be if you go to Walmart to get food for your family and the Walmart's closed because it's been looted.
I agree.
So I'm telling you what, if you want to start a race war, this is how you do it. Hear what I'm saying?
When you start fucking around with people's food, I agree.
Hungry people get mad.
I know. I say it will be, if this isn't solved in the next 2 weeks, it is going to be worse than the toilet paper shortage of COVID 2020. That's all I'll say.
It is on the onus of the Democrats to solve this because the whole marketing that they have done, at least my whole lifetime, is that we care about the common people. Well, if you care about the common people, then what you do is that you surrender, you reopen the government, and then you negotiate from a position of loss because you lost the last election. Sorry, you lost. Yeah. Take your lumps, move on.
That's probably reasonable.
Well, if you care about the country, that's what you would do. But the problem is neither political party cares about the country. But I'm telling you right now, if people start looting, bodies are going to start getting stacked. And if you want to race war, that's how you get it.
No one's going to, there's going to be shoplifting is what's going to happen.
Well, I think there's going to be mass looting. I mean, for example, in New York, where you are right now.
No, I can foresee that happening, Ted. I think Robbie's right. I think I can foresee that happening, especially on social media, where like young people plan flash mobs to do stupid shit.
Just go and just loot everything.
This is one of them. If your family is on SNAP and you're not getting food 2 weeks from now,
you're assuming that there's like a
foresee.
You guys are assuming that there's a organized group of SNAP recipients.
No, they will organize. Is the thing? No, they will.
How?
On social media. How do you think these young people at the Topanga Hills Mall in California, these young people that are not otherwise in a gang,
they're members of
they're not in a gang.
Gangs.
Okay,
No, they're
ask
not. They're kids that like loosely know each other, and they planned to go into the Nordstrom and just loot it.
Yeah, because they're members of criminal gangs.
No, this isn't even that.
Gang. They're just kids that like
Ted,
organized
what would
together
happen?
and were like, fuck it, let's do it.
What would happen in New York if let's just be generous. Just say that there's 3 days and a quarter of the population can no longer get food. What happens?
Oh, society collapses.
There you go. Now, do you have to organize for that to happen, or does it just happen spontaneously?
No, but but we're not looking at those kind of numbers.
If SNAP benefits are disconnected, and if millions of Americans depend on them for food, then that causes unrest. Where I have a big criminal problem.
Well, that's true, especially in these Republican areas where there's high percentage of SNAP recipients.
No, that's my point. And so this stuff starts just coming unglued, and then you have a large section of the population and it's bored, be that just has a criminal element already, They see that all this stuff going on. You think they're going to jump in? You had a whole bunch of Mexicans jumping up and down on cop cars a couple months ago protesting immigration. What's going to happen when you see mass rioting in, say, Mobile because people can't get food?
Let's let your cat have the last word.
This is what happened. The cat is insistent. Fernie wants to be on the camera. See, Max used to do this before he died. Whenever I was streaming, he would always get on. If I was on with the gaming stream, he would always
Max
get
was
on.
a dog.
He was a dog. He was a little Yorkie. He was a rescue. He was a rescue dog. His old owners abused him and broke his hip.
Oh.
And so he was.
Oh.
Yeah. So we adopted him. And oh no, I have no problem putting on pedophiles and people who abuse animals. Kristi Noema's lucky I'm not president, because I would send her to the next world.
But you're right. Max used to, if you were on the stream, Max the dog used to yip and yap and prance around in the background, and now Fernie's doing the same thing.
Yeah, just
if
insist.
the cameras, they're little camera whores. Those animals you have.
Yep, for sure.
The ones you get, they're little camera whores. That's what it is. They want to be on camera.
Yep, for sure.
Yapping and barking and meowing. All right, so we'll leave that there. We're gonna leave you with that thought on this Monday. Like I said, it's not a Monday. Just think about that in America. I hate to be the bearer of bad news or like be on the Robbie train with this, but this could lead literally like open the door to societal collapse if people cannot get food. Like this is fucking like
civilization is a very thin veneer.
True.
Yes,
true.
it is. Yes, it is.
Let's pull the plug. It's time to go.
Couple weeks. We'll see.
I gotta pee.
Everybody.
Bye.
Have a good Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for
Hope
being
it all
here.
comes out okay, Ted.
Thank you. Me too.
Bye, guys.